we had to jump into this LeBron Stephen A beef. I think it's been the biggest story in sports the past couple of days.
It's taken over. I mean, Pat McAfee wins the interview of the year. He gets LeBron out of nowhere. First take today, yesterday, spends the first 20 minutes just Stephen A monologue for 20 minutes. Molly introduces it to him, checks on his mental health first because the guy got the sports debate equivalent of ethered. Checks on him. He downplays it, whatever, and then goes on a 20-minute tangent, making it all about him, thinking the whole Pat McAfee interview was about him. It was definitely calculated, but when you really listen to the interview, it was a 5-minute portion, and it just ruined Stephen A's day. He used the word butthurt as if he was 12, but you can tell Stephen A is butthurt, whatever you want to say. Like anything he's projecting on LeBron right now, Stephen A is feeling it inside.
So, Sage, sometimes to tell a story the best way, you got to go all the way back. So we all know how this started, right? So LeBron confronts Stephen A at the Lakers game, puts a camera in the background that was staged. Let's be honest, staged. It was staged. And he goes up to Stephen A, says, keep basically like the Will Smith equivalent, like, keep my son's name out of your mouth. Like, don't bring my son into this shit. And then he walks off. Stephen A had to address it on his podcast.
Yeah, had to address
it. He did. On his podcast and First Take, he made it funny because he was like, I didn't want to have to address it, but now I have to. It's like, you were going to address it. You're going to want to get viral if you're in Stephen A's spot. So that's basically what happened. And then it all got unleashed when LeBron announces that he's going to be on the Pat McAfee Show. Keep in mind, he did a full hour with Pat McAfee. LeBron has never done this in his career. Never. And we know the relationship with Pat McAfee and Stephen A. Smith. They're rivals. They do not like each other. McAfee used to be on First Take. Stephen A. banned him from First Take because apparently they had a blow up. McAfee calls him a motherfucker. So this move was completely calculated by LeBron. He went on to Pat McAfee Show because he knows how much Stephen A. hates him. And it was interesting, man. I mean, there was so much stuff said in this interview, Sage.
You got to almost like address it from like the holistic standpoint and then look at it as just like these two, right? Because LeBron going on McAfee, right? It's the purpose, quote unquote, is to talk about his basketball minds with Steve Nash. Yeah. But it's calculated. There's no way in hell like he could downplay it all he wants. And I'm on LeBron's side on this one, but it was intentional. He's not doing this if it wasn't for what Stephen A did, all that. But I just think the way that they're handling it, going about, it's entertaining, yes. It kind of reminds me shades right now of the Kendrick Drake beef, like a year almost to date. Like
I guess it's way different, but
two tycoons just like powers of their respective, I guess, fields, just going at it. And every day it elevates. Like just thinking back on the Lakers game when it all started, LeBron goes up to him, mans him up. Stephen A. the next day says, if he were to put hands on him, he would have swung.
So that happened. So that happened after the McAfee interview, Sage. So basically, and also something that's funny too, like just look at Pat McAfee's show. There's no way LeBron would ever have done the show. It's basically like you have Pat McAfee just with like a cutoff, just like, oh yeah, like just doing the Pat McAfee stuff, and then he has like his like minions, his 5 like white dude from like the Midwest minions. Like Boston this would never be a LeBron show. LeBron's always been like the barbershop. Or going on, I don't know, maybe the pivot with Ryan Clark. Like, that's where LeBron goes routinely. So,
bro, it's like him doing this was just petty. It's like they're clapping it up. It's like
I'm sorry, Sage. I can't do the Pat McAfee Show. I love Pat McAfee. I think he's great on College Game Day. I think he's uber talented. I do. I think he's one of the best in the business. But his show is just too much, man. And LeBron being on there, a guy, I'm not going to lie. I'm a LeBron hater. Him being on there was just basically like a nuclear explosion of shit that I don't like in sports.
I thought McAfee handled the interview well. Like I thought he did a really good job.
Yeah, because you're a LeBron. No, you're a LeBron lover. They gave him the most softball questions of all time.
But they navigated it
LeBron's
well. Like
ass the entire way.
They hit every point. I mean, bro, it's LeBron. You're not like no one's gonna have LeBron realize it's the first ever like interview LeBron's ever done, like a 1 hour sit down where it's not LeBron branded. It's not the shop. It's not anything he's ever produced. It's like true. He's going on your show. He's gracing your show. Like he gave him the most viral clip he'll have in the existence of his show. And it's just a fact. Like that's going to be the most viewed clip he'll have this entire year. probably for the existence of their YouTube life. He's gracing him. You gotta open it, embrace it with arms. Like, it's LeBron. He's fragile, obviously.
I
like
know.
you gotta kind of
Yeah.
just, embrace it. Like, no one's gonna get on there and grill him other than Stephen A. and other than Skip Bayless. Those are the only two guys that would grill him.
Pat McAfee's not a journalist. I get that. So when Pat McAfee brings LeBron on to the show, he's just trying to have a good time. I get that. It was a little bit ridiculous. And what did he mean when he was talking about Stephen A? So they brought up Stephen A. and LeBron's beef, and he said that he's on a Taylor Swift run right now.
Yeah, Stephen
What
A.
does that mean? What does that mean?
Swift. You know how like Taylor Swift had the Eras tour? She's going from city to city, popping in.
He literally just said it on his podcast on First Take. LeBron's making it seem like he's hopping everywhere. He was about this LeBron beef.
He was on 4 podcasts since the Knicks thing. Stephen A. Smith.
Whose podcast was he on?
I have no idea. I saw a thing.
Exactly.
So
I don't know. I feel like LeBron was hyping it up a little bit too much.
But I mean, you could say that, but it's kind of true. Like he said, like he's just detracting from his original point. Stephen A. is when he said, "I don't want to talk about," like, everything he initially stood on. He's going so back on it. He's like, "I don't want to talk about this." Okay, he's talked about it on 6 different platforms now. Then it was, "I've never hated LeBron. I've never had an issue with LeBron." Now it's, he didn't go to Kobe's thing. He didn't go to Dwayne Wade's thing.
Yeah.
Just looking like an idiot. It's, "Oh, I never criticized LeBron outside of basketball. It's always been about basketball." Now you're taking all these personal shots. Like, Chase, you said it. It's become a thing. Like, the guy's crashing out. He's grasping for straws, anything, because this is just,
I think he's winning this. I think he's winning this stage. I really do. But
you're a clown.
Let's get to that a little bit later, because he said a lot more in this McAfee interview. I mean, he went at Brian Windhorst. He said that Brian Windhorst is weird. He's trying to act like his best friend. Sage, I'm going to let you jump in, but give me the floor for a second.
Go for it.
Brian Windhorst has literally been the guy in the media who's been spoon-fed information from LeBron's camp for the past 15 years. He said previously, he's like, nobody in the media knows me better than Brian Windhorst. And Brian Windhorst is one of the most respected names in the media. I think the past couple of years, he's gotten off of being LeBron's guy, and now he's just probably one of the most respected journalists across the NBA. Is a little bit, I guess you could say, more objective. And then LeBron goes and hits him with this. If you're LeBron, like, what does this do for you? Like, what does going at Brian Windhorst do for your entire image? And it just makes you look like a bitch, because everybody knows that you have a relationship with this guy, and you're trying to make it seem like you don't even know him, and he's just some weirdo following you around. That's crazy. It's craziness,
That's not
Sage.
the point at all. He literally just said, like, this guy acts like he's my best friend, which he does. He
does not.
He does. He's like, no one knows LeBron like I know LeBron. Like, if anyone's, like, when he gets introduced.
He never said that. LeBron said that.
But when he gets introduced on First Take, they're like the LeBron insider, the LeBron expert. Like, he's like the LeBron whisperer. I bet you this guy's sick of it, because anything he says now is taken as gospel. LeBron just had to put it out there like, hey, like, everyone wants to say this guy's my best friend. Like, whenever he has a report on me, it's the truth. Then maybe that's why. Also, big brain theory here. He heard what he said about his new teammate, Luka Doncic, and he's like, all right, I got to draw the line in the sand. Because, Luka hates that guy. So he's like, okay, I got to let him know, like, we aren't friends anymore. We got to set some boundaries here. And if you're LeBron, what do you gain from saying this? So I think there's some truth in it. Like, this guy's probably fabricated some things. He's not just going to go out.
Sage, come on, man.
He's not just going to go out there and take a shot at Windy for no reason. Like, I'm sure
LeBron stabbing Windhorst in the back.
Stop,
bro. Sage.
Stop, bro.
You know
Who cares?
that his team, that he's been close with Windhorst for 15 years. He's known him since he was in junior high school.
He just covered him. He's just been covering him since he was in junior high school. There's a difference. It's the same thing with Wemby. When Wemby was coming up, Windhorst was the guy who went to France, spent a summer with him, tried to study it, goes on the Simmons podcast, goes on First Take, Stephen A's podcast, talking about like everything non-basketball than Wemby, about Wemby, wants to be the Wembanyama guy. I just think like it might have been true at one point, but I think the whole brand that Windhorst built himself on was LeBron. And now he sees that he's kind of like being objective, whatever he wants to do on ESPN shows. So he's like, all right, we aren't cool like that. We're not boys. When you want to be my boy
You're being naive, Sage. You're being naive.
No, I'm not. LeBron would just take a shot at him.
LeBron basically planted Brian Windhorst. LeBron made Brian Windhorst. You get that, right? He got the ESPN job because LeBron always wanted someone on his side. Brian Windhorst didn't just do an internship and then get a job at ESPN. He was covering LeBron. He was LeBron's guy. That's what gave him access to ESPN. And I think we're going a little bit too far on this, but that's just my point. That's my point, that LeBron made Brian Windhorst, and now he's acting like he doesn't know him because he's being more objective about LeBron. That's all.
Okay. Go to the next thing then.
But that's just what I'm saying, Sage. That's what I'm saying. I didn't appreciate LeBron saying that. And then there was a couple more things. So,
big windy guy.
What's your take on this? What's your take on him saying that Giannis would have scored 250 points in the 70s? Basically taking shots at anybody who played in the NBA before LeBron got into the NBA.
Okay. Obviously, he's talking in hyperbole. He's not actually saying he would go. He's just saying over exaggerating. But he's taking shots at like a guy like Mad Dog Russo. He's basically like slowly picking apart everything that First Take has stood its brand on, right? Like the 70s was the best era. Like he's going at every guy. Do you know who else? Like think about everyone in LeBron's circle right now, right? Luka, right, has beef with the whole windy aspect, like them calling him fat and lazy.
Yeah.
LeBron, the Stephen A beef. And then his coach, JJ Redick, has insane beef with the entire show. Like every time he was on, they're just saying
Bob Cousy as well.
The plumbers and firemen comment. So he's just going at all these guys like, subliminally. I think obviously he's talking hyperbole. No one's scoring 250 points. You could drop Giannis in a high school game. He's not scoring 250 points.
We all know that, though, Say. We all know that. He's basically just saying that he would dominate like no one has ever dominated.
I think, Well, I just think he's going off a recent discussion with Giannis when they're saying like I think it was Mad Dog said he's not skilled enough to play in the 70s. McAfee asks him about it, and he's like, dude, are you kidding me? Like this guy can't play in the 70s. Like look at the highlights, right? Like he said, like the guys are dribbling like this for people.
They had to though. I mean, it's
the one hand. So it's like he's just addressing like anything LeBron does, they're gonna take shots at anything. So they're saying like, oh, he's doing this like 9 straight finals, whatever it may be. He's playing in the softest era. Like he's not playing anyone in the East. It's like, like there's this guy named Giannis in the East. I go against him and he's probably one of the best players of this generation. You put him in any generation, he's going to succeed. I think that's all he's trying to say. And they talked about KD a little, right? They talked about everyone.
Yeah. So those were the two biggest things that he said. And I agree with you. I didn't take that much from the Giannis comment. I think that honestly, everybody who's been playing in the NBA has kind of had that same sort of sentiment towards, NBA in the 70s and the 80s. A couple other funny ones, Sage. He said that the lottery was the lottery for him to go to the Cavaliers was rigged. And he kind of brought up like Patrick Ewing. He's like, Patrick Ewing to New York. What was the other one?
Derrick Rose to the Bulls was the other one.
Yeah, Derrick Rose to the Bulls. It's like, I don't know where that's coming from. Now he's all of a sudden like conspiracy theorist for the
and Wemby to the Spurs.
But how is that a conspiracy theory?
I think he's just saying,
why would the NBA want a guy like Wemby to go to such a shitty market like San Antonio? If the NBA actually wanted to rig it, it'd be like, hey, like Lakers have maybe, I don't know, the 13th best odds to win the lottery. Oh, they get the first pick and Victor Wembanyama is going to the Lakers.
I think
that would be something that they would try to rig for.
I think it's just making the most out of the situation. They're like, okay, we don't want this guy to go to New Orleans. We don't want this guy to go to Charlotte. Like, okay, what's the next best thing? Like, let's put him in San Antonio. There's some history there. Pop's there. They're like the overseas international guys like hub. I mean, I'm not saying I agree with it. I'm just trying to like match my brain.
I know that's
like what's his thought process.
You're always trying to give LeBron's take on it, and I don't get the Cleveland one either. Like I get that he's from Cleveland, but like LeBron was
from Akron, bro.
LeBron was destined to be the next best guy in the NBA. Why would they want him in Cleveland? I mean, eventually he got out of Cleveland, but I just don't get where LeBron's coming from at all. Like I don't know. All of a sudden, like he goes on Pat McAfee Show, he's ripping off conspiracy theories. Also, he claimed like 5 times. He's like, I'm such a big fan of music. Like I love music. I love music. And
Nas, Rakim.
Like it's okay. Okay, you're a human being. I get that you like music. Like everybody on planet Earth loves music. And then they try to like ask him a bunch of questions like, oh, like, like what's your favorite kind of music? Like who do you think is going to be the next young up and coming guy? He wouldn't answer that. And he was basically just like, yeah, I don't know. I love all kinds of music. Like I'm just such a big music fan. It's like,
that's a terrible question though to ask LeBron.
Why?
Because he's 40. He's 40 years old. You think he knows the next up and coming rapper?
He claims.
You think he has Lil Yachty? Like, and Lil Yachty's old. Like, you think he's like listening to? I can't even answer that. I don't even know. Do you know any up and coming?
To be fair, I wouldn't know either.
Exactly.
I don't know
like,
the next
and I listen to rap, but like, you listen to what your generation is. Like, they asked him like, he answered every question about the music except for that one because he's like, who the hell is he gonna say? Like, he probably doesn't know like these SoundCloud rappers, whatever. Like maybe he gets the information from Bronny and Bryce, but he's not memorizing any of this stuff like by heart.
What about Zuri? What about Zuri?
Zuri, yeah, he's like, I listened to it was Rakim, Biggie, Jay-Z, because that's just his era. So yeah. I mean, I get it, but like that's an unfair question. If they asked Steph that question, he wouldn't. Like they asked Steph.
I don't think Steph would be like, yeah, I love music. I'm a big fan of music.
When they asked him, he was like, he said Ludacris, or not Ludacris. Lupe Fiasco, he said was his favorite rapper. I lost a lot of respect for him from that.
So that's basically what happened in the Pat McAfee interview. Honestly, a lot of softball questions, some bullshit that LeBron said, but basically what was taken from it was that he was still continuing the beef with Stephen A. He took shots at Stephen A. So Stephen A, of course, had to respond and basically on his own podcast brought up the situation again where LeBron confronted him at the Lakers game and said, if he would have put hands on me, I would have swung immediately, right? That's what got clipped. Nobody really said before, or nobody brought up what he said before where he said, I would have gotten my ass kicked. If he would have put hands on me, I would have swung immediately. But that's just basically what got captured.
How it works.
Also, a nice little snippet from this stage. LeBron said, or Stephen A said, I don't wear tighty whities. I'll let you figure out why that is.
I don't know. See poop stains, maybe? Not wipe?
I think he's talking about how big his package is, but I don't know. Okay. That's just kind of like the Stephen A kind of experience right there.
Wait, that's what Stephen A said?
Ego. That's what he said. That's what Stephen A said about his, because LeBron said that he was basically going to be sitting in his tighty whities, eating ice cream, listening to LeBron talk about him. So he said, by the way, I don't wear tighty whities. I'll let you figure out why.
There's definitely some truth in that. Like, I'm not saying this is the biggest Stephen A is going to be, but this is the biggest Stephen A could get for this point of the season.
Oh,
right?
He's getting money for sure. He's racking up the dollars.
And do you know who's the biggest winner in this? ESPN, the worldwide leader, of course.
They basically have two shows going against each other that are driving views for each show. Yeah.
Keep going, boys. Keep going.
No, it's literally chess moves.
It's insane. Like, if he really wanted to, he should. I mean, he would never go on Skip, but like he should have gone on Fox or something. Like, go on Nick Wright's show, like a guy who's had your back. Like, everyone would have said that's the softest thing you could do, but go on a different network. Like really, like at the same time as First Take viewers off his show. But you're kind of almost allowing the door for a back and forth here. I don't get it. Honestly, I don't get what LeBron has to gain from this. Like, you're only propping up Stephen A. And to be fair, LeBron's struggling. Like, ever since he's come back, like at Stephen A, like his game's been struggling. I think he hasn't hit a 3 in 2 straight games now. His field goal percentage, points per game is dropping. Some are saying he's injured, whatever it may be. I think he's putting a lot of energy and focus into this when he shouldn't be. Like, bro, like it's kind of when you see like a big rapper beef with like minor rappers. Like, I'm an Eminem fan. I would not know who, like, some of these guys he beefs with, like Cage or whatever.
Yellow Wolf. I think there was a Yellow Wolf beef.
No, Yellow Wolf's his boy, but like there's these other rappers.
Yellow Wolf's his boy.
Like Ja Rule, for example. Like, I wouldn't know who some of these guys are if it wasn't for him. Like, he's giving them the platform, right? Like, he says in one.
You never watched the Firefest documentary with Ja Rule?
Oh, I actually have. He was like one of the like main investors, right? And like the Milwaukee.
He's one of the main investors. He's like, I just want to be clear, we did not commit fraud. They all got booked for fraud. Like it was literally like as clear as day fraud what they did. But that's another story.
Yeah. I just don't get, like, he has so much more to lose from this. Like, what does Stephen A really have to lose? Like, his whole brand and anything he goes on is just about media, clicks, and views. Like, that's how he makes his money. LeBron, the thing is, like, he actually gets to go on the court and play. And there's like things like he has to talk about. Like, the thing that sucks about Stephen A is like he's boxed himself in now because the Lakers are the number 1 ticket now with football season being over. They're going to be one of the first topics on his show anytime they play. And he has to talk about him. And if he's fair and gives LeBron credit, then everyone's going to say, like, you're cowering down, you're backing down. And if LeBron plays bad or LeBron plays good and he hates on him, everyone's just going to say, you're a hater, you're not genuine, whatever you want to say. So, like, how do you go about this? Because LeBron's going to keep making news, keep playing games while you're going to do your job talking about LeBron, telling his story.
Well, I disagree, Sage. I disagree because, and this is the next point. So after Stephen A goes on his show and says all that stuff, LeBron posts an IG video of the classic Stephen A boxing clip where he's training, looking like he's like literally looking like he's 70 years old, like trying to box. It's honestly an embarrassing clip, but basically he posted that video because Stephen A said that he would have swung on him. So LeBron goes for a dig right there. And that's what opens up the First Take appearance that we saw yesterday, which I think was probably the craziest moment in First Take, minus Richard Sherman going at Skip Bayless's like soul back like 10 years ago. Like you said, he starts off, they introduce the show, immediately goes off for 20 minutes. Monologue, just complete monologue. Honestly, Sage, for people who are trying to get into the industry, pretty fucking impressive. He literally just rattles off like 20 minutes of shit about LeBron. The thing that's getting him in hot water right now is the Kobe. How he brought up that LeBron wasn't at Kobe's memorial. He's like, don't make me tell everybody why you weren't at Kobe's memorial. Later, we find out that LeBron was there, and he just didn't want to be on camera. So that was embarrassing for Stephen A. That was embarrassing for Stephen A.
Dude, that's so embarrassing. And then in hour 2, he says, I know he was there, but why didn't you want to be on camera? Why didn't you? And then you realize it's like, you look like an idiot. Like, yeah, he's LeBron James. Like, he's the biggest figure in basketball. He's not going to go to Kobe Bryant's memorial and make it about him. He's like literally said, like, I don't want to be on camera. Like, it's not about me. And then goes and leads like basically like the whole memorial at the Staples Center the next night, is the guy to go to center court, give the speech, all that. And you're going to like take a dig at him when initially you said it's never been bigger than basketball. It's always been about what's on the court. And then it's, why did it start? You're taking shots at him as a father. Now you're like questioning him as a human being. On top of that all, you're just going back on all your initial points and looking like an idiot. And then you have to tweet later that night, like, my apologies. I don't detract from anything else I say, though. And you just look weak. Like, you look, the way you're handling it, it looks so weak now.
Well, it looked like he was trying to be the guy with the inside track where he's like,
exactly.
Oh, I know everything. And he didn't know anything. He had no confirmation that LeBron was even there. He tried to act like he was tight with LeBron and knew why he didn't show up to Kobe's memorial. Then the next one, I mean, Dwayne Wade, what was it? The Hall of LeBron didn't go to the Hall of Fame introduction, and then you find out that Bronny had a heart attack or went into cardiac arrest like a couple days before, so that's why he didn't go to Dwayne Wade's Hall of Fame inauguration. But then he says, he's like, no one's gonna say this, but LeBron was on business, went out of the country after Bronny's cardiac arrest. So don't give me that stuff why you weren't at Dwayne Wade's Hall of Fame speech. And it's like, I don't know. I didn't know if that was the right route for Stephen A to try to go to take shots. He had a lot more, but that's what he started off with. That was like his first like take.
He looks so weak, and then like he tries to turn it into an MJ LeBron GOAT debate.
Oh my god, that was so fucking funny.
He's like, why doesn't LeBron like me? Because I said he's not the GOAT. It's like, no, dude, he hasn't said anything about you for the 22 years he's been on your number one topic. Like, how did First Take come up? It was Skip Bayless and Stephen A talking about LeBron. Literally, Skip ragging on LeBron, Stephen A responding, and that's how the show got built. He never once responded, mention your show, mention your name, nothing. You take a shot at him as a father. He responds, and now it's like this whole ordeal where you have
I don't think he took a shot at him as a father. I think that's why I think that Stephen A is kind of winning, because that's bullshit by LeBron. That's bullshit. That's a bullshit.
He literally just said to him, he was like, and he called him, like he said, he called him and just said, like, listen, you could talk about him on the court, but don't talk, because he said, like, as a father, LeBron's failing, like having Bronny out there when he's not performing. So you can just talk about Bronny and just say, like, he's a bad basketball player, whatever you want to say. And like, credit to Bronny, like after that goes out and drops 40. I know it's the G League, but like,
fair.
Big step up, like holding on for the James King. But all I'm saying is like his argument and everything he's saying, it's like changing every day. It's like one thing to another. And like you said, like he wanted to be like it was almost like Eminem, like the last rap battle. If everything he said about Clarence was just wrong. It's like, oh, I have all this inside stuff about you, but it's like, no, none of
it's
it's
like
true.
I actually didn't go to a private school, and my parents are divorced. What are you talking about? B-Rabbit, what are you talking about?
But like literally,
this is B-Rabbit misinformation. None of this is true.
And it's so funny because they post the clip of him saying the Kobe thing. It goes on Twitter, X, whatever. 5 minutes later, it gets community noted with like articles below. Like actually LeBron was there. Like according to the LA Times, LeBron requested not to be on camera. So I just think like everything that Stephen A tried to build on in that First Take like monologue yesterday just blew up in his face immediately, like right away.
It was bad. Yeah, it was bad.
Made him look like a bigger asshole for it.
It did. I thought the MJ part of the debate was so funny because he was talking about like, the interactions that they were having, right? Yeah. It was like, we don't get along. I didn't say anything about Bronny. And he's like, by the way, like Michael Jordan, 6 finals. How many finals losses does LeBron have? 6. And like, he's just like going off and he's like, let me list off a couple things for you. Like, and then I think he was like, NBA first team percentage, MJ, 67%. LeBron only at 50%. And then he was going on like scoring titles and he was saying how MJ's led the league in steals 3 times. LeBron, 0. Like, I think he listed off like 10 things. And it's like, okay, dude, we get it. Like, we get it. We get it.
Also,
I just think that Stephen A has such a big ego, an ego way bigger from what he actually is. He shouldn't be going at LeBron. You're never going to win this battle.
Exactly.
You're always going to look like a fool. And I think he's starting to realize that. Like, just let it die. If LeBron comes at you, address it, but don't get too deep into it. He went too deep into it. He took it personally. I think it was because of the IG boxing video.
100%. Yeah.
He like that's what really set him off.
It questioned his manhood. Like, everyone saw it. Like, dude, what's so funny is I have LeBron's Instagram notifications on. I saw he posted it. I go and click on it. Literally 7 minutes since he posted it. First comment, Draymond Green laughing, crying emojis. I'm like, dude, this guy, like, he is the first to everything. But you just see, and obviously, like, all these NBA players, this generation of guys who are in the know, like in LeBron's, they're going to have his back. And they're going to ice you out.
They all love LeBron. They all idolize him.
So it's like when you do this like type, and he has the biggest fan base, and they're just going to keep going at you and going at you. Like, to this day, like I brought it up earlier, but Drake, anytime he posts anything, who's the first in the comments? It's not his fans, it's the Kendrick fans, right? Like, it just happens. Like with media, with
what about DJ Ack? What about DJ Ack?
That too. Like, these guys who are in your circle, like they're just going to keep going at you. But I just feel like it's so one-sided because of LeBron's platform is much bigger, right? His fan base is much bigger. And everything he's saying is factual, and he's just responding to the dumb shit you did. So he's going to just look like he's in the right and the better human. When you were just like a talking head who's just like prioritizing your own ego in this entire thing. When it's like LeBron standing up for his family. Like, that was the whole premise he tried to build. He's like, I'm going to stand up for my family. Like, as a man, I got to do it. So people are going to respect that more.
Okay. What I will say, just to kind of cap it off, is that when Stephen A brought up the boxing video that he posted, it was so
You're
funny.
so embarrassed, you could tell.
He's like, first off, that was 10 years ago. He's like, I'm a much better man than I was 10 years ago. It's like, dude, you're 57. Like, don't act like this is like a boxing clip when you were like 13 years old and now you're like an up and comer at 23. Like, bro, you're washed up anyway. Like, it's not like you went on to Gary Brecka's like system for like 6 months and now you're throwing hands like Sugar Ray Leonard. Like, you still can't box. Like, just stop. But when it comes to Stephen A and this entire LeBron beef, he's going to make money off of it. So I can't blame him too much. Like, he's going to make money, but people are going to look at him differently. Everybody's going to kind of clown on him because
100%.
You're going at LeBron. You're not going to win the PR battle. You're going to win the views battle, right? You're going to bring more volume to your channel, but I got to agree with Stephen A. Like, I don't think that he took that bad shots at Bronny. Literally, he just said, okay, Bronny does not deserve to be in the league. You're making it a way bigger storyline than it has to be. You're bringing a lot of slander onto Bronny just for your own ego, for your own, I guess you could say, image of you wanting to be in the NBA with your own son. And that's all he said. He didn't come at him as a father. He didn't come at Bronny. He had to be objective. Like, Bronny, even though he's been playing better lately, is not an NBA player. LeBron was kind of putting him in an embarrassing situation where the media had to be objective about where Bronny is as a professional basketball player, which he honestly is not right now. So I don't get what Stephen A did wrong. I think that LeBron really did have a bone to pick with Stephen A about the MJ stuff, about him consistently not calling him the GOAT. And he used this as an excuse to plant a camera, come up at him at a Lakers game before halftime, and make him look like a bitch. I think that's basically what happened, Sage.
Yeah, you're insanely wrong about this. He would have done it.
I don't know. I feel like that's like the clear answer to it.
Like, to be honest with you, bro, like the MJ thing was brought up by Stephen A. Like, he's just using it as an out. That's like his own like alibi, like fallback. Like, LeBron never even addressed it, whatever. I just think like in LeBron's head, it's like, dude, like they didn't draft. They had a first round pick. It's not like they drafted him there. Dude, they drafted him the 55th pick overall. And it's not like he's playing bad. Like, look at, like, could you name the guy who went
Sage,
before
he's
him?
not an NBA player. Stop. Dude, he's not an NBA player.
Look at the guys who went. I mean, is any second round pick an NBA player typically? Like, they just took a flyer on him. Obviously, like, he's LeBron's kid. His dad is the craziest athlete ever. He had a cardiac
They made
arrest.
sure that nobody else drafted him. They made sure nobody else drafted him.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. Other teams were going to draft him. Like the Suns were legit going to draft him. Like if he was on,
I don't think so. But I'm just saying that.
So what's the big deal then? If no one's
act
going to
like
draft,
you haven't started a narrative as LeBron when you told every team, don't draft Bronny. You make the Lakers draft him. You make him be on the opening day lineup so he could come play with you in the opening game.
For 2 minutes and they won.
But like, come on, Sage. You had the Griffies there. Like, it was like a show. It was like something that they produced.
But it's
and he's
Lakers,
trying to make
bro.
it seem like it was legit. And when people say like, yeah, I don't think it's that big of a deal because LeBron orchestrated this entire thing. For him to get mad at that is bullshit. It's clearly orchestrated by LeBron.
He was just saying, like, as a father, he's failing him. Like, he's embarrassing him. When, like, the kid just making it. I mean, dude,
kind of
like,
is. He's put him in a bad spot.
I don't, like, is he the worst player in the league? Like, you look at his, like, stats compared. You look at his stats compared to everyone else in his draft class. He's outperforming his draft pick. Like, he's above the 55th in averages, field goal percent. I mean, he's averaging 23 points a game. It's the G League, but, like, you could see he could play. Like, for a second-round pick, like, obviously, I can't compare second-round picks because the only second-round pick I know other than Bronny is Quentin Post because I'm a Warriors fan, and he's actually playing well. But, like, go back 2 years ago, right? 3 years ago, whatever. The Warriors in the second round drafted this guy out of Australia. His name was Justinian Jessup. He played at Boise State, never saw the league, was drafted 50th overall.
Why are we taking shots at Justinian right now? He don't.
Bronny's a better basketball player.
He didn't do anything.
I'm just saying, like, look at where he. I mean, if they spent a first-round draft, okay, the Lakers' first-round pick last year, Jalen Hood-Schifino, the guy's out of the league basically after a year, bust. Right? Bronny's already been more productive than him. This stuff happens. He's a second-round pick. Like, I just think he was saying, like, let it take time, bro. Like, he had a heart attack 18 months ago. Like, he's still finding his footing. I think he should have stayed in college, obviously. I think Braun did orchestrate that. Maybe let him stay.
Of course. What are you? This is all known.
But that's not the argument here. That's not the argument here. The argument is like, bro, like, he's a 55th pick. Like, he's under all this scrutiny. Like, and then you're going to come take shots at me for it. Like, bro, let him grow. Like, it took Quentin Post 3 months to get into the NBA and really find himself. Like, this guy was scrutiny under the microscope from day one. Like, I think
Sage, to be fair, this is what I'm going to say. If Bronny wasn't LeBron James Jr., he would have never gotten called up to the NBA. He would have honestly he would probably have never started in the G League. So that's the entire thing. So when you're saying, oh, compared to other 55th picks, he actually has a better average, better rebounds. Yeah. The entire thing is that he's getting the opportunity because he's LeBron James' son. They're throwing him out in, honestly, situations right now where either the Lakers are blowing somebody out or they're getting blown out. And that's why the numbers are what they are. Bronny is not an NBA player. Everybody knows this, Sage.
I mean, everybody knows this. Chase, you could say that. I mean, you were the same guy crying when LeBron took Norman Powell's spot in the All-Star game. Like, now we're going to cry about some, like, 55th. Or it would have been the 62nd.
That was BS for him to be, like, morning of the NBA All-Star game.
Whatever this guy does, or
not
anyone
showing up,
name,
not going to be there, not rolling up.
Anyone with the name, you're going to be like, oh, what about Norman Powell? What about the 63rd pick? This kid out of fucking Turkey. He should be out there for the Lakers. Like, bro.
Also, like, this guy's, like, even though I don't believe he's on that level of talent, Bronny is a professional basketball player. Like, the media has to treat him like a professional basketball player. And to act like they shouldn't bring him up, like, it's like, keep my son's name out of your mouth.
That's not what he's talking about, though.
But that's basically like what he's saying. He's like, you can't speak on Bronny, even though I gave him $1 million contract to play on the Lakers as a professional basketball player and play in the NBA. Like, how can the media not talk about this objectively? I just think that that's the thing with LeBron. Like, you put your son in this situation, you open him up for criticism, and now he's getting criticism, and you confront media members at the game, and you take shots at Stephen A. You start this entire beef. You started this. That's the only thing that I have to say about it.
Yeah, but I think, like, before we keep going back and forth here on this, I'm just going to leave it at this. Is like, his whole point is, like, take shots at him as a basketball player, whatever. Like he said on McAfee, I'll never criticize someone for talking about the game. He's like, when it comes off the court, that's when I have to step in.
I guess.
To be honest, I don't watch First Take.
I don't know what LeBron said other than, like, LeBron, you shouldn't be mad at what we're talking about with Bronny.
I want to find the original clip here
as
of, like,
father,
what Stephen A.
Don't put him into the situation. That's all he said. I feel like everything was basketball related. So when you're saying don't take it off the court, like, he didn't take it off the court.
I mean, dude, but you say that, and you said, like, literally, like, the first thing Stephen A. said when he came out with this, he was like, that wasn't a basketball player. Like, that was a father. Like he said, like, that was a father. right? Like that was a father protecting his son from this. Like you see it all the time. Like Nick Wright was saying, like how Jalen Hurts' mom came up and like attacked him basically like at Super Bowl like media day the night before the Super Bowl, saying like you're unfair. Like you take all these shots at my son for what reason? Like he's successful, whatever. I think LeBron's saying like just criticize him on the court. Like don't come at me as a father. That's when you lose the plot. And the thing is, like it was brewing before. Like he called him. Like there was literal reports that he said, "I'm pleading with you as a father. Don't question my parenthood. Like don't question my parenting."
I didn't hear that. So Stephen A said that he never talked to him.
He said he got a phone call. He said, "I'm pleading with you as a father." That was like how it originally started.
I heard that Stephen A basically said, like, I'll talk with you like behind the scenes. I'll talk with you on your show. You never wanted to do that. You just confront me at the Laker game. That's all I remember. Maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. Maybe he did try to reach out, but I don't know. I just think that I think LeBron's in the wrong here, and I think that Stephen A's not in the right either. Does this continue is the question. Is there any more that's going to happen with this, or did Stephen A, with that 20-minute monologue, kind of ended right there?
I think I think they both said their piece, whatever. They're not going to keep giving each other the platform. I mean, it's just like I said, it's interesting now because the games are going to be played. The Lakers are going to be relevant. They're going to make the playoffs, and he's going to have to talk about it because they're it's
going to be funny. It's going to be
they're the hardest ticket in the NBA. If he plays well, like how's he going to respond? Like they literally didn't even bring up 2 days ago his buzzer beater because he just didn't want to talk about it. You know what I mean? Like there's going to be certain things, but you know damn well they're leading the show with Giddey's half-court shot today. So I don't know. It'll be interesting. Like he's kind of in a box now where like no matter what he says about LeBron on the court, it's going to be viewed under a microscope. So
it will.
Yeah, it's covered.
It will be interesting. Like you said, they're definitely going to have to talk about the Lakers and LeBron James for the next couple months as we get into the playoffs. But I agree with you, Sage. I think this beef is over. But it's going to be something that we're always going to be able to look back at, be like, wow, I can't believe that happened. Like for those 5 days there.